just happen to have real conversations about real things on this channel. So, I couldn't let one of the greatest shows end without having a discussion about it. So tonight, I am going to have the discussion on the series finale of Snowfall. That was season 6, episode 10. So if you haven't seen Snowfall, skip this video. And if you're new, welcome, where we talk real stuff in this channel. Why is Snowfall so important? I believe it was an amazing series, fresh faces. It mimics real life, and I stand by it. So the series finale starts off with Franklin. He just watched his mother, and I'm sorry, I have to use kindergarten language because the public is so sensitive. So the mother unalived Teddy. Franklin can't believe this, and he's running into the bar. Of all places, it starts off with him in a bar to make a phone call. So he's calling Veronique, and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, Mama shot Teddy. He's trying to figure out how he just let 76 million slip out of his hands again. Trying to make sense of why his mother would do that. So V is like, come home, let's talk about it. Franklin doesn't want to hear anything but his own thought. He hangs up. He's in a bar, and the bartender's like, drinks on me. The funny thing, I believe that's an inkling in life that nothing is free. The cameraman is very detailed in making sure he shows Franklin lifting the glass up. Now, Franklin didn't drink or do any kind of drugs, so Franklin's mind was always sharp. Franklin sits there and he takes a drink. Some hours later, and we know that because all of a sudden now the bar is full and it's rocking and he has a full glass. So that means that he's on another drink. CIA wants Ruben. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. What's he going to do? Come to find out, he makes his decision up fairly quickly in the series finale that he is dropping Ruben off, who works for KGB, to the CIA. So Franklin wants no parts in this mess. Franklin's going to get Ruben, who's being guarded by Veronique, by herself. I'm like, where's your people, Franklin? So he has his pregnant girlfriend guarding this Cuban Russian spy. Veronique is confused as heck. And she's like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Franklin don't got time to talk to nobody, and he's doing what he wants to do. So it's like he cuts himself off from everybody. He wants nobody's opinion. It's just his way, and that's all. Now, if you ever look at a couple of episodes ago, you can see that usually Veronique is able to calm him down. She always would say, look at me, and they'll talk. And she'd be like, talk to me, look at me, talk to me. And he would snap out of it. But in this episode, you see he does not look at her at all. No eye contact, doesn't respond to her, does not say one word to her. She's like, what's going on? Are we okay? Just takes this guy and leaves. Drops him off as he was told to by the CIA. It's funny because it's the same way that Teddy told Louis to drop Franklin off a few episodes before. Gag, drop, and roll. So now Franklin's on a mission. He's got multiple ideas in his head. He comes around looking like he is a fiend. You know that person that always come around because they always need you to do something for them? That's lately the only reason he started coming around Leon. He don't come to hang out. He don't come to chill. How much money you got, Leon? What you got, Leon? And Leon is trying to talk because Mama just got locked up. And both of them are Mama's boys. Leon is mind is blown right now because Mama in jail. And he's like, did you speak to Sissy? Franklin like, what? Listen, Lee, like, cut the mess. I need some money. So he's like, how much you got? And Frank, now from this point to the end of the conversation, Leon's face is stuck on. The whole conversation, Lee never moves. This is that you want some BS kind of look that Leon gives him throughout the whole interaction. And Franklin don't even realize the facial expression because he's busy. He's on a mission and I'm about to beg. So, how much money you got? And Leon is like, 3 million. Franklin is like, yes, because what's mine is yours, yours is mine. You know that's going on in his head. And he's like, all right, listen, I'm going to need this, and that. And Leon is like, no. Pretty much no. And Franklin, ironically, when Teddy felt like Franklin's money was his, Franklin feels like Leon's money is his. Because in their mind, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be making money. So I'm sorry you saved your money and I'm acting like an idiot right now with mine. But I need some more money. Leon still want to talk about mama. Because he's looking at Franklin all fiend out for money. And he's like, same face. Why you think Sissy didn't want you to have that money? Franklin like, what? She snapped. And it's ironic because the person that snapped, which is Franklin, is pointing the finger at everybody else. He could tell you what's wrong with everybody else. And he's perfectly fine. Leon is like, no money. You can't have my money. And Franklin is like, listen, it's my money. He pulls out a gun on Leon. And it just so happens that, of course, Leon is protected. So Leon's people come and they're like, not today, Franklin. And the only thing Leon could do is be at a loss for words. And it's funny because Leon has been making the same face all season long. But Franklin has done this before, and he's done it to Louis. Last season, when Buckley had to step in and say, nah, Franklin, have a seat. Franklin leaves, and now they show him in court. So I'm like, oh, nobody looking for Franklin? Okay, he went to court. He's in public. Nobody looking for him, because I'm sitting here, like, in my mind thinking, you know what? He's going to get arrested, something. But nobody's looking for him. I'm like, oh, okay. He free. When court is over, agent comes to the car. Oh, I think you had something to do with it. Nobody has any proof. CIA's definitely not talking because they involved. And he's like, listen, you heard her say she did it. We good. Bye. He don't even say bye. He's done. He's on to money. Like, that's the only thing on his mind. See, the thing is, he's focusing on lack of money. Because Franklin still had money and he had options. But he's focusing on 76 million and not the million that he did have. So then we get to Wanda and Leon. Wanda says she's out. Leon doesn't stop her. Leon gets her money. I get it. Wanda don't need to be there. She's breaking down. She love her husband, but environment. She needs to get out. She can't thrive there. And truth be told, Leon can't thrive there because he got right back sucked into everything. So he was actually back where he started after coming back from Africa. But he's the king of the jungle. He gives her money so she be all right. True gentleman. And Wanda wanted a whole airplane scene. So now what I call an airplane scene is the movie scene where the guy's running and stop the plane. It's the love of my life. You know, all that stuff. She's like, you're not going to ask me to stay. But nah, he don't want to be responsible for the unraveling of Wanda. He can't do it. He loved her enough to let her go. So now Franklin goes to visit his mother. Mama looking at Franklin like, so now Mama in jail and Franklin coming to visit him. And she has this look like, I dare him ask me about where his money at. Franklin get on the phone. And he's like, Mama, plead insanity. Because people don't really do stuff like that. Like, she has a chance. He's giving her the light. You got a chance, Mama. You could get out of this. Then he was like, yo, but you can't be running your mouth about this CIA stuff. And she looking at him. You know how your mama look when she don't really want to hear nothing you got to say unless you come and correct. And there it is. Franklin thought about his goddamn money. Mama, look at him. There you go. Hangs up, leaves. So now it's funny because Franklin home and he's chilling. Well, he's not chilling. Franklin home never put down that bottle since he picked it up at the bar. Every time he goes to think, he got his bottle in his hand. Mr. Davis comes to the door because Veronique told Davis, we're looking at buyers. So Davis comes up to make a bid. Mind you, he's just begging Leon for his little money. And somebody wants to buy the big property that Franklin can't afford. And I remember he put in like $3 million in that property. So it's like, dude, take the money and you got other properties. Nope. Because he want to be mad and he want to be salty. First of all, I don't want nobody to think I'm weak. He tells them it's not for sale. Goes to Veronique, pissed off, you know? But mind you, she kept asking him what's going on, what's going in your head. The whole season, he didn't say one word to her. She's pregnant. Don't know what's going on. He won't talk. He won't communicate. He's just spiraling. Yells at her about making him look weak by trying to do the logical thing and get money for the big property.
Detected at your front door.
He tells Veronique, what the heck are you doing? You're making me look weak. I am not getting rid of that property. So he's like, I'm getting rid of all these properties. Now, mind you, a few seasons ago, they bought this apartment complexes in the hood so that they can make sure that the tenants and everybody had a decent living quarters and they were running it themselves rather than having the slumlord run it. I remember because that's one of the things that they did for the community. But Franklin's so mad at his mama that he was like, I'm selling it back to her boss. Like, you know, who cares about the progress we made? I'm giving it back to that idiot. And I'm going to put all the money into this project that I can't afford. And Veronique is like, what are you doing? You're about to lose all of your money because you're not going to be able to keep up with the payments. And then they're going to take it because that's what they do when you don't make up with your payments. But you own the apartment complex. You could have just made the money from there and then just had money and built. He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear nobody but himself. So Veronique was like, you about to throw away everything. And he's like, listen, this is mine. I built it. If I want to throw everything away, oh well, you know. So he chokes Veronique. And he threatens to unalive her. And for all you people that think he wasn't going to do it, what show are y'all watching? Because this dude will unalive you if you eating cereal wrong. Because he's been snappy. Now, I remember before Veronique told her mom she wasn't going to leave him because he's always been good to me. Well, now he's not. What you thought was going to happen after that? So he tells Veronique if she goes behind his back again, or messes with his money, he's going to unalive her. We all knew what was coming after that. So now Leon goes to jail to visit Mama. Mama will talk to Leon because Leon talking with some sense, you know? But she talks to Leon in a way that only a mother can. She told him she's proud of him and loved him. And she asked him to go back to Africa and find himself, pretty much. Because she's already lost Franklin. So now Franklin shows up with a bottle in his hand. Every time he shows up with that damn bottle, it's going to go left. And he's like, yeah, I want to make that crazy transaction I said last night to Veronique. Yeah, Veronique probably was in there first thing in the morning while Franklin was hungover. Took the money and was out. Because, you know, she ain't going to stay alive for Franklin to unalive her. So now, like Franklin does, every time he is at his worst, he goes visit his mama. Because now he want to complain and blame everybody else for everything going on. So now he's there. She's still looking at him like, I got nothing to say to you. I'm lost for words. I do not recognize my son. So the thing is, but you do notice that she's still taking his visits. So it's not that she wants to ignore him, But she's trying to see, is my son still under there? But you know, Franklin comes in and he is on one. Now it's, I need you to sign over the house so I could sell it. And B took the money. And then, while she's still sitting there silently, he's like, listen, you ain't never getting out of here. You might as well just hand it over to me. Sounding like a true fiend, but he fiending for money. He's not taking no accountability. He's like, mama, you did this, you did that, you did this. This is your fault. So now he turns into a straight demon. And she's like, I'm done. She hangs up and she walks away. He's throwing a temper tantrum. So doesn't it seem like when you at your worst, things get worse? Yes. 1. Franklin is focused on lack, not having. So he had still money with the properties before. So he had money with properties before V took everything. You understand? But he was just focused on not having, can I have, not having, don't have. I mean, he built himself up from less, but he's focused on lack. So the investigator comes to see him, can't find V, of course, because he want to unalive her, but he finds Peaches, gives him the address. There he go. Everybody been looking for Peaches all season long. So now we see him, veins leaking. Peaches on that heroin. I also think he had that HIV, especially playing with those needles. Because that's why he's sitting there. He got that cough. He got all the symptoms back in the day. But you know, he wasn't going to no clinic. But if we know Peaches, we know Peaches is a sharp shooter. Military trained. And sure enough. And it's funny because when we first met Peaches and he was guarding Franklin, he does the same thing. Tries to shoot Franklin from the couch. That's Peaches' 1-2 move. Franklin gets the draw on him first. Of course, because Peaches is not as sharp because he's all high. You understand? So, we got it. Finds the safe. I don't know why he thought he could find the code in the house. Most people keep the code to the safe in their brain. Calls the locksmith. Locksmith looking around like, I'm in a crack house. He goes and he's like, oh, you know, he's thinking this is going to be a fun job. I get to crack a safe. Job is dangerous because you see faces in that job. I wouldn't want to go to a job and crack a safe because it's usually not the owner when you go in to crack a safe. And they usually don't want witnesses around. But this happens to be the case. He's uncracking the safe and, you know, having fun. And then somebody comes in, came to party with Peaches, you know, and that hair on. Franklin, like, let me talk to you for a second. Unalives him real quick. Guy with the safe is terrified. Yo, it was sad because it's like looking at a person that's encaged in the area and can't get out. For the windows, and you realize he can't get out. He's just trapped. Let me just do my job. I hope I get out. The locksmith finally gets it open. Franklin tells him to count it and comes to find out it's only $12,000. Franklin is pissed. But he started out with $12,000, and that's the irony. So back in the day, Franklin, and it's some true stuff, Franklin was trying to grow $12,000. And this Franklin is looking at lack. It's nothing. Tells this guy to put it in his pocket. Sorry, guys. You know? So, y'all think that he, you know, tells the guy to put it in his pocket. Guy tries to walk out. Franklin shoots him in the back. My opinion, and from what it seems, is that it looked like he robbed the drug house. Do you understand? Like, Franklin wanted to make it look like he robbed the drug house. But the money was so small, I do not think Franklin took the money. Because if he was going to take the money, he would not have told the guy to put it in his pocket. I believe he left it there to make it look like the guy was there to rob the safe. Again, $12,000 for Franklin. He was pissy. He said, I bet you think that's a lot of money. It was not. So going up, $12,000 was a lot to him. Coming down, $12,000 wasn't even enough to wipe his behind. It bounces 2 years later. Louie on the run. She with her horses. Hiding out. Dirt all over her face. Scared for her life. The funny thing is, though, her name was ringing bells because when the cops came looking for her, DEA, they said she was one of the biggest crack cocaine dealers. That's what she wanted. Got your name, mama. Jumps to Oso. He with these kids. He's fighting back where he started. Everybody's going back where they started. Either they grew or they reverted back to their old ways. So Oso back in the ring. Now he's teaching these kids. Checks on the phone. Girl calls him after 2 or 3. I think it's been a total of like 3 years since he's been gone. And he's smiling because she's like, I'm doing good. You know, we all good. And I noticed that he stopped smiling the moment she says, I want to see you. Because I think in his head, he's not sure if it's a setup or it's real. Hopefully he knows not to go. This is around the same time they looking for Louie. So they closing in on both of them. So now here we go to the ending. They do another year later. Leon's coming back from Africa. He did go. He listened to mama. So as soon as he get up there, they like, who you belong to? You know, who your crew is. Gang stuff. Leon like, nah, I want that raggedy house right there. Somebody in there? They're like, yeah, weirdos in there, pretty much. So Leon knocking on door, nobody answering. So because he knows somebody's in there, he's like, yo, Franklin. You know, maybe if he know who's here, he's going to open the door. Sure enough, Franklin opened the door for Leon. So Franklin tells Leon that he hasn't paid taxes in years. And Leon is like, I'll pay the taxes. You just can't let them take your house. Franklin has already checked out, given up. He like the city looking to arrest him because he ain't paying his taxes. The neighborhood. I remember the neighborhood when the series first started. It was so beautiful because I was like, oh my gosh, look at Crenshaw in the 70s. The ice cream truck coming down, palm trees coming down, neighborhood clean, families together. But now it's trash all in the alleyways, people taking a dump right by his house or in his backyard. And Franklin walking out like normal day, you understand? Somebody tried to come at his house and rob him. Again, Franklin is an unaliver. I hate that word. That word sounds so stupid. He stopped calling Sissy mama. He's talking about Sissy let him stay in that house. And it's like, nah, Franklin, Sissy ain't let you sell that house so you're able to still live in it. Jokingly, he talks about Wanda being strung out. You know, he was like, oh, she ain't go back to her ways. And it's so funny to him, you know? It's like people look down on other people. And you're looking at the shape, you're looking at the shape that he's in. Like, the funny thing, when Franklin was busy working, making his money and making moves, he never talked about other people. And now that he's at his lowest, he's sitting there talking about other people and making fun of them and gossiping. But whatever makes you feel better. Leon is setting up the new series that they're gonna have going on, talking about Wanda is working with the music industry, because the 90s, that was a big deal. That's when Franklin let out the saddest laugh. You know, Franklin has stopped smiling for a long time. I don't think he smiled at all in season 6. And at the end, he opens a big smile, and Franklin ain't seen a dentist. It looks like his whole life. Lee want to talk about regular stuff, about marriage not being easy. Franklin tells him about V and that she wrote a letter to him saying that the baby was being raised right out of the country. He doesn't see his son. He reminds me of his father, Alton. He didn't see his son and he was strung out on alcohol. Sad. And then V said she wants to break the generational curse. Good luck with that. She's trying to break the generational curse while being in the exact generational curse. Away from the father and I guess surviving to be a scam artist. Then we see the movie Boys in the Hood being produced and directed right down the block where Franklin lived. And of course, Franklin, now he's just negative. And he's like, oh, nothing good coming out of here. Movie turns out to be a classic. So Leon's talking about uplifting the neighborhood again, but now he's actually implementing stuff like a legal clinic. He wanted Franklin to help him, and Franklin says, you still trying to help people that don't want to be helped? He was talking about himself too. Ironic. So while he's talking, Franklin cut him off, head go to the side. Leon, you got $10? And Leon gives it to him. But yo, the saddest face. Leon gives him a 20. And Franklin looks at it like he just hit the jackpot. Remember, 2 years ago, $12,000 was nothing. That's why I said this series was very well done. And right when he's walking back from the store, you see Franklin's house getting seized. They taking it. Franklin is like, you know what? They took everything else from me. Again, focused on lack. Like they taking. And he said now he's free in his own way. I guess. In his way, not mine, but he does tell Lee he's proud of him. Lee wants Franklin to come with him, you know? And the way they end it, Lee turns around and goes his way, and Franklin turns around and goes his way. Opposite directions. That was my review on the series finale of one of the most magnificent shows. I am sad to see it go. It was beautifully written and down to earth. How many people we know that had it all and now you see them wandering the street? There are a lot of Franklins out there. And then when you really go to talk to people, you realize that they had an amazing, crazy life. My question to you is, how do you handle the worst thing of your life? Do you let it deteriorate you, or do you learn from it and rise above? Because the worst thing that happened to Leon was when he accidentally unalived that little girl. He changed. He backed up. He said, hold up, what I'm doing is wrong. And Franklin, the moment he lost his money, he lost his mind. But let's stop it, because there are a lot of people that lose everything and start over. A lot of millionaires did. I don't know if y'all knew the story of Walmart. Like, he built a huge store, and then after it was all successful, the people that owned the building came and took everything back. And they took his store and ran it and chased him out of town. And he had to start all over again with nothing. Then he made a bigger and better store, and now you know what today is Walmart. So I just have a question. What are you going to do with your biggest failure? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.